Hi folks, hope you're all doing well. A bit of a departure for me today, out of the garage and into the warmth of the house to introduce you to my first 3D printer, the AnkerMake M5. I signed up for this on Kickstarter way back in April and have been patiently waiting for it to arrive ever since. It finally turned up a couple of weeks ago and I can honestly say that I'm blown away by the quality of the printer and how easy it is to use. So this is part one of two videos, the unboxing. In the next video I'll show you how to assemble it and get it printing. This is how it ships from Anker. Quite a sturdy cardboard box, and then inside we've got the retail packaging, and then inside here we've got two layers of goodies, again all well packed. So starting with the PLA, we've got an eighth of a kilo here, 125 grams of clear PLA, and early backers got an additional 1 kilogram of, again, white PLA. So not everybody will get that. I think that was the early Kickstarter backers. Next we've got the business end. So this is what's called the hot end. And this is where the PLA or the filament is extruded. So we're going to have to build that. We've got a bunch of nuts and bolts, which thankfully, unlike some furniture manufacturers, actually tell you what they are in 2.5 M4s. Some, oh, there are actually some spare nozzles for the hot end. And then some hex or Allen bolts. Power adapter, so this one's come with a UK and a European power plug. Power plug, always handy. A very natty little tool set. So if we open that up, just need to use brute force for that. So you've got some snips that we use to cut the filament as we're loading filament. You've got a little hex spanner, which we'll see in the next video when we're putting it together. And all of these are really solid. I think they're aluminium. If I had a magnet, I'd go check that. But you've got a little driver here, right angle driver, and then a variety of bits that fit onto that. And this rather dangerous looking thing that's in here is a tiny needle. You might not be able to see. See that tiny little needle that we use to get the stuck filament out of the hot end. Hopefully we don't need to do that too often. So really decent little toolkit there. We also get a manual. It's nice having a manual in this day and age when everybody tends to ship it without any kind of instructions. And finally, on the top layer, we have this, and this is the spool holder. So this attaches either in an upright manner or in a horizontal manner, so vertical or horizontal, and that's what the spool goes onto. This is really well machined. There's some really good quality there, and even just looking at the top of this, everything seems incredibly well made. This isn't a thing. This is the main body, or the main this is the holder for the hot end. This is where all the hard work happens. That's attached to the base that's underneath here. But this is incredibly well made. So let's get this out of the way. And I said there were 2 layers. I think there's actually 3 layers. So this is where all the magic happens. So here we have the holder for the head. So that's handy. So it actually has a hot end in there. So that's a spare hot end that ships with it. There's the camera for the AI kind of damage recognition. And these are 2 stepper motors, which cause the board, the base, to go backwards and forwards, and then the head to go backwards and forwards. And over here is where we're going to be feeding the filament. Again, this is really solidly made. There's No flex in that at all. That's really impressive. That gives me a lot of faith that this is going to be a well put together bit of kit. Get this out the way. And again, another bonus for the early Kickstarter backers was that you get an extra magnetic bed. And this is the bed that ships. So some people will only get one of these, some people will get two of these. So here you can see the magnetic bed. This is actually, it's a heck of a bit of magnet. So that goes on really solid. And then we've got that spare there. I don't know, this is my first ever 3D printer, so I don't know what you do to a bed to break it. That means you have to have a second one, but better to have two of anything, I'm sure. And then let's get this out. Okay, so power inlet, power switch. Now, on some of the videos, they talk about having a 110 volt, 220 volt switch. This power supply doesn't seem to have one. Nope. In fact, I think that might be where it is on the machines that do have it. So do check yours to check that if there is a voltage switch and it's set to the appropriate setting. But again, this is really solid. That's a well machined bit of equipment. And you can see that that's where we're going to be fitting the rest of the body. So on that note, I think we'll stop there because we're going to have a separate video coming up right after this that shows how to get it put together. So next stage, let's get it built. Let's check all the belts, make sure they're nice and solid. Get rid of the extraneous bits of foam. Stay tuned.